With week 1 in the books in fantasy football, we move on to week 24 in fantasy baseball, meaning there's only 2 weeks left after this one in the season. Hi, I'm Amber Wilson for CBSSports.com, and this is Fantasy Baseball Weekly. As the contenders are fighting for every win as they jockey for playoff position, we know you're trying to scratch out W's in your fantasy playoffs and trying to manage as many rotisserie points as possible in these final weeks. It looks more and more like the Yankees will be making their 13th straight appearance in the postseason, and with everything that's been made about A-Rod's struggles in October with the Yanks, if they do make it in 2007, it will be because Alex Rodriguez carried them there. After a down year by his standards in 2006, A-Rod has returned to the top of our rankings in fantasy baseball, leading everyone with the 52 home runs, which includes homers in each of his last 5 games. All wins for the Bombers to stretch their lead in the AL wildcard to 4.5 games over the Tigers. Derek Jeter wasn't in the lineup when A-Rod hit number 52 on Sunday with the day off due to his knee stiffness. He may miss some extra games in week 24 as the Yanks go north of the border and play on the artificial turf of Rogers Center. But if the Yanks start slipping it all and the Tigers gain a game or two, expect the captain to play through the pain and get back into the lineup. Even though the Tigers have fallen out of the race in the AL Central and have an uphill climb in the wild card race, Curtis Granderson is still putting together historical numbers. Not only is he 2 triples short of tying Ty Cobb for the Tigers' all-time record, but with his 20th steal on Sunday, he joins the likes of Willie Mays and Frank Schulte as the only players ever to hit 20 homers, 20 triples, 20 doubles, and steal 20 bases in the same season. A season ago, it was Alfonso Soriano who was making history by joining the exclusive 40-40 club and doing so in cavernous RFK Stadium with the Nationals. 2007 has been a bit disappointing for the Cubs slugger. Riddled by injuries, he has only been able to muster 23 homers and 18 steals so far, but he has been coming on as of late. Since coming off the DL 12 games ago, Soriano has hit 6 home runs and driven in 9 runs, but still hasn't stolen a base since August 1st when he stole 3 versus the Phillies. Carlos Zambrano finally pitched himself out of a slump by picking up his first victory since July 29th, Saturday in Pittsburgh. After dropping 5 decisions in a row, Zambrano only gave up 1 run on 2 hits in 6 innings while striking out 8. And the Cubs are going to need the likes of Zambrano and Soriano to pick things up because they are once again looking up at the Milwaukee Brewers. Prince Fielder and the Brewers have won 8 of their last 11 games, with Prince is 14 for 37 with 4 home runs in that stretch. The Brewers had fallen to as many as 2.5 games back in the Central until this recent stretch of good form that has returned them to the top where they've spent most of the season. And we welcome in senior fantasy baseball analyst Eric Mack to the show. And Eric, the Brewers are showing good form here right at the right time in September. Is there anybody that we can count on down the stretch who normally closes out pretty well?
Well, baseball is a fickle game. You really have to trust your stars at this point. For instance, you could try to take that flyer on Matt Stairs right now. He's been the hottest player in baseball of late, available in 75% of CBSSports.com leagues. Heck, he made Ryan Howard look like waiver fodder last week, but there's no way you start a Stairs over a Ryan Howard, especially since Stairs' recent hot streak might just mean he's about to hit a bunch of balls right at people in the next week. Fantasy baseball head-to-head leagues are just unfair. You're best off just going with your top players and hoping for the best. Also, maybe perhaps players playing for something down the stretch. That's the best we can say.
Okay, and who do you expect to get hot soon?
Well, Miguel Cabrera is due, and I would consider him a must-start in all leagues. Even though he's been in a 1-month slump, someone asked if he should be sat, and absolutely not. He's already owned in all leagues, so that doesn't help you much, perhaps. So maybe a Hank Blaylock. He looked good coming off the DL and shoulder surgery. He's not ready to play the field yet, but he can get every day at bats at DH.
Okay, and more call-ups are making it to the bigs every single day here. Is there anybody that we should be keeping an eye on for 2008 or anyone who can help out fantasy owners here down the stretch?
Yeah, there's some undervalued guys hot right now, and they could be huge sleepers next spring. Joey Votto's been hot since his call-up. He looks like he could be ready for full-time big league duty at first base. The next generation at second base, Ricky Weeks, Howie Kendrick, they've looked great of late, and Jeremy Hermita's finally making good on all that potential. Dodgers, Matt Kemp, James Loney, these guys have been hot. They deserve more consideration than they're getting in fantasy leagues. They're all hot, these guys, and they're backed by scouts. So you could be getting huge sleepers down the stretch and in draft day 2008.
Okay, I have to ask, how'd you do in fantasy football this week?
Well, actually, I did great because I'm that guy that drafts all running backs. So I wound up with quarterbacks Tony Romo, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. All these guys were undervalued. Quarterback is a position you can wait on. I got them late, and they all scored for me huge.
I did the same with Tony.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
But
oh, what?
This fantasy football stuff, it's got to stop. I went to your desk the other day. You have like 10 note cards of your fantasy football teams. I didn't see you do that for baseball.
Shh, don't tell the people. All right, thanks, Eric. Keep your mouths clicking right here on CBSSports.com for everything you need to know in the world of sports. And if you missed anything here today, stop, refresh, and rewatch. For Eric Mack, I'm Amber Wilson. Have a great week.